Welcome to the TOCA Backstage Podcast. Join TOCA's Executive Director, Chris Wolf, in conversations with the artists and people behind the scenes of the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation's performances and events.
Hi, this is Chris Wolf, the Executive Director of the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation. Today it was my pleasure to speak with Jeff Bordes, an amazing musician and trumpet player. We're very excited to have Jeff performing a live concert online, streaming straight to your home on Friday, June 26th at 7 p.m. It's as easy as going to our Facebook page, and you'll be able to watch this performance with Jeff and his exceptional guitar player. Excuse me. So tune in Friday, June 26th, 7 p.m. on Facebook Live. You can't miss it. We're not asking for anything, but as always, you can donate to TOCA by texting TOCA Live to 44321. So check out this interview with Jeff Bordes, and we look forward to seeing you on June 26th. So I'm honored to have Jeff Bordes, the amazing musician and friend of TOCA. Jeff, thanks so much for taking the time to talk. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Good seeing you.
So just to give a brief history, you have actually performed a couple of times for TOCA. One was in the Studio Cabaret with Pantheon.
Twice in the Studio Cabaret with Pantheon and with Tumbledown House.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You were part of Tumbledown. And
Yeah.
then also you brought in New Orleans Christmas, which was a hoot. That was a lot of fun.
That was amazing. That was in the theater.
Yeah. So we are actually excited because on Friday, June 26th, you at 7 p.m., you will be doing a virtual concert for TOCA. And this is our first foray, adventure into Streamland. So we feel comfortable doing it with you. Tell us about what you want to do for this concert. What are your plans?
Yeah, I mean, these streaming performances is kind of our new reality, right? Which is sad, but it's been great to see this kind of happen organically.
And it's temporary. It's temporary.
That's right. It has to be. That's right. Obviously, when we the pandemic hit and all of our lives changed forever. Performances were being canceled all over the place, and musicians started, turned to live streaming on social media as a way, as an outlet, an outlet for their creativity and to perform, but also many really depended on it for the purpose of providing for the income that was now gone from lack of performances and gigs. So, a few months ago, my guitarist and I, more so out of the need just to perform, began getting together on my front porch on Sunday afternoons and doing a 45-minute performance, socially distant apart from each other. But it was great because my neighbors and the community would come and set up chairs in the court and kind of stay away from each other, but enjoy the live music. It was a way for my guitarist and I to again have that creative outlet. And then we also began asking for donations as well. People would always ask us, how do we donate? Is there a tip jar? And we began asking for donations, and not for our own bank accounts, but we began donating that money to our local organization that were helping those that were really affected by COVID-19. So for us, selfishly, it was us a way for us to have a creative outlet, but then also did some good for our community, and it's caught on. We've had other theaters approach us and ask us to stream for them, and it's been a lot of fun.
Well, we're really looking forward to it because you are an amazing musician, I have to say. Your history. For those of you who don't know, who haven't seen Jeff perform, you're a trumpet player, right? How did you discover the trumpet? When did you first pick it up and start playing?
Yeah. So how much time do we have? Chris, I don't even know if you know this story. I think you may. So, I grew up in Northern California. I'm adopted, and I've always known I was adopted. My parents have always told me. And I recall a little bio about my birth family, even though it was a closed adoption, so not much was known. But it did say that there was music on both sides of my family. My birth father was a musician, and it said that my birth mom's father was a classical composer. So knowing that, even before I saw that information, but my parents had that information, they really, from an early age, wanted to get me involved in music, to give me the opportunity to have natural talents, take place, do its work. And so, my earliest memory of the trumpet was I saw Dizzy Gillespie on Sesame Street, playing the trumpet, and I always said, okay, that's the instrument for me. That's what I want to play. And then in fifth grade, I got my first trumpet. I remember my mom taking me to the music store to pick up a trumpet, and then going at that time, they actually had music stores that sold cassettes, and I remember her taking me there to the mall, to the music store, to buy some recordings of trumpet players. And she asked the teenager behind the counter who he would recommend, and there were 3 tapes that we came home with that day. One was Miles Davis, My Funny Valentine. Another was Wynton Marsalis, one of his classical albums, and then I believe there was a Wynton Marsalis jazz album that we came home with that day. And so ever since then, I've been hooked on the trumpet. I had the pleasure of touring with Dizzy Gillespie many years later, when I was 17 years old. And I remember being so excited to tell him the story. And he said, yeah, every kid tells me they saw me on Sesame Street and started playing trumpet as a result. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's what took me to the trumpet.
It's amazing the effect that Sesame Street has had on so many people.
For sure.
And another show that you have, which is, you also have a Louis Armstrong show, right?
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I started doing this quite a few years ago. I'm not a big, I love New Orleans. If I was to move anywhere, I think it would be New Orleans. I love the culture, love the people, love the food, obviously the music. I have a lot of friends that are professional musicians there. I've never been a huge New Orleans, Dixieland player. Though my first professional gig was a Dixieland gig, but I've never been a huge Dixieland player. But in fact, it wasn't until college. I grew up really loving trumpet players like Freddie Hubbard and Lee Morgan and Blue Mitchell and Chet Baker and a lot of these burners, which is what they call them. And I remember in college one day, my professor at the time, Ron Motti, a bass player, it was a combo small group situation, and I'm taking a solo, and he stops the group. He says, whoa, what you doing? And I said, well, I'm playing. And he says, okay, listen, I hear the Freddie, I hear the Lee Morgan in you. You need to do me a favor and just spend 3 months just studying Louis Armstrong. And that was the first time I really, really opened up my ears and my mind to Louis, and ever since I've been hooked to his phrasing and his sense of playing, and obviously he's the father of jazz. And so, a few years back, after we had done these New Orleans jazz shows that we did it in Torrance, where we took Christmas music and added like a New Orleans funky jazz backbeat to it. And that kind of took me down the path. Okay, people are loving this music, so why don't I share my love for Louis as well? And so we take Louis Armstrong songs that people know, and we add our own take to it. So we're not doing exactly like Louis. I'll bring in different musicians from time to time to add their flavor to it, which has been really fun. So, I've taken like Zakiya Hooker, John Lee Hooker's daughter, and pulled her into the Louis fix, as well as just others, musicians from it's great taking musicians from diverse backgrounds, putting music in front of them and just seeing what happens, because we all kind of bring our background, our roots, our flavor, and add that to the dish. And so that's what I've done with the Louis show. So every year that we do it, it's never the same. It's always different depending on who I have in the show. So I think we'll continue doing the Louis show for a long time to go.
Oh, good, because we need to get it down here to Torrance, because
I'm excited to bring it down.
So getting back to the excitement coming up on the Friday, June 26th at 7 p.m. So this is going to be on your front porch with your guitar player, right? Yep. By the way, it's very nice front porch. I didn't know that was your. I thought you like went somewhere else to do it, because it's very nice front porch. And people can access it how? On our Facebook page, right?
Yeah, so we'll make sure that it's streaming to the TOCA Facebook page, and that'll be the best place for them to find it.
And they can also like you on Facebook and go to your Facebook page.
Yeah, right? Jeff on Trumpet is my Facebook page, so you can find it there as well.
And so, and we're doing this out of the kindness of our heart, but needless to say, if people want to donate, they can donate to TOCA by through text or our website. They can also, I'm hoping that you're going to put out a tip jar as well.
We will. And yes, that's why we're doing this. I mean, you guys are doing such amazing work. Every time I come down to Torrance, we're welcomed in the largest of ways from not only you and your staff, but also your community. And so if we can do our part to bring awareness to what you're doing down in Torrance, I'm going to do everything I can. So yeah, we'll have a tip jar. We'll be promoting the work that you're doing.
Well, and we're going to be promoting the heck out of you too, because you are not only an awesome human being, but an awesome performer as well. So tell me, what are your future plans? What do you got going on next?
Well, I'm excited to get back on stage. The front porch is nice, but I'm excited to actually play for live human beings. Yeah, I'm working on a lot of new music, working on some show ideas, and definitely excited to get the green light to begin booking performances again, and hopefully looking forward to coming back down to Torrance and bringing the Louis show. And I'm working on a new show right now. It's more Cuban-based music, so that should be a lot of fun as well.
So going back to Louis, do you? This I have to know, because I don't know. Do you sing as well? Do you have that Louis?
No, I wish I did. Every year I always tell the audience, I always tease them that next year I'll be singing a song. But no, it's always great to, I have a lot of friends that are vocalists, and I let them show their talents. Though who knows? Friday on the feed for TOCA, maybe I'll work one song. There is one song in the set that I do sing.
Cool.
We've snuck that in.
My wife and I actually had a song that we heard from Louis Armstrong at our wedding, that "A Kiss to Build a Dream On," that we heard from the Sleepless in Seattle soundtrack.
Yep, it's a great song.
Remembers that. I do, but
you're such a romantic.
I am. I can't help. So this is great. Friday, June 26th, 7 p.m. on our Facebook page and your Facebook page. And tune in. We can't wait. It's going to be a blast. And I always like to say, make it dinner and a show at home. Go to a local restaurant or bar, grab some food, take it home, tune into your smart TV or your laptop or iPad or whatever, and just enjoy the tunes. Because I actually saw one of the ones you did a couple weeks back, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's great because people actually do exactly what you said. They plan for it. They have their bottle of wine ready to open, and they let us know what they're drinking, which is always kind of cool. So.
Oh, that's right, because they can comment on it too, right?
Yeah. So please, engage with us. Make this a real event.
That's all. That's for actually. That's kind of cool because you can't. It's one thing you can't do in a live performance is, interact unless in our studio cabaret you can because you're pretty much right next door right next to the musician. But it's a way for people to actually interact with you in a way that doesn't happen normally.
That's right. That's right. And it reminds me of. I haven't done a lot of them, but those that I've done, I've really enjoyed our house concerts for that reason.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're in someone's living room, and people get to really be a part of the show and engage with the artist and ask questions about the songs that they just performed. It's yeah. So this is the next best thing.
Well, one thing I'm really curious about is, I mean, your history as a performer. You have played with a number of different groups, and you've created a number of different shows. It seems to me, as somebody who's far from anything from a performer, that would give you a lot of artistic freedom because you're not married to like a band that does one genre. You kind of can explore any genre.
Yeah, I mean, I love music. I love all styles of music, and it really started, back in high school or shortly after. My friends were all playing in rock bands, garage rock bands, and so I would bring the trumpet and play along. And so, some of my early shows was with a rock group called Tribal Disco Noise, and it featured trumpet. And from there I went off to college in Boston at Berklee School of Music, and the musical, the music happening there is extremely diverse, from world music to classical to hip hop, all over the map. So of course in Boston I got my taste of playing all styles of music, and that's just continued. I mean, I have friends that are hip hop producers that will hire me to come lay down trumpet solos, and then they'll cut them up and drop them in hip hop songs. And I've toured with Jamaican ska bands, and spent years on the road with a band called the Heather Combs Band, which is country rock but would feature trumpet instead of a lead guitar. So I just love playing, and if I like the music, trumpet tends to fit.
Well, it does. It's kind of an all-around kind of instrument. I mean, it seems like there's a lot you can do with that instrument.
I'd say so. I'd say so.
And
especially, I mean, I love the blues. I think that's really where my heart's at. And with trumpet, you can really turn that into a voice, and you don't need to be able to sing. You can really get those emotions out through that horn.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to it again. It's Friday, June 26th, 7 p.m. on Facebook, the TOCA Facebook page, or the Jeff Bordes, or what is it?
Jeff on Trumpet.
Jeff on Trumpet Facebook page. Jeff, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you soon.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.